Morrigan Chronicles is back, baby. Yep, they did it. They did it. So we got kind of worried here on KC, if you'll notice. Actually, pull up the update tab. You see, it's been a while since an update. You know, they had fairly consistent updates going on, and then all of a sudden we had about a month there. It was like, King of Fighters is up. Maybe they're not going to go forward. But what it actually ended up happening was they changed staff around, what I heard, so... Anywho, let's get into your update, ladies and gentlemen, for Knight's Chronicle. It's already live, it's just for people in the chat who are interested. The Awakening of the Slaughterer Morrigan, as well as the new hero, Spirit Fox Suitor Renard, has been added. Some new costumes here, Demon Tamer Momo, and then also a Saya costume. I'm a little bit torn, because I was hoping there'd be a Saya quest, because Saya is absolutely one of my favorite characters in the game. And they didn't give her an Awakening quest, you just buy the costume, which is great if you just want the costume. Sucks if you want an explanation of Saya's character and you want to see her freaking come back from the dead. Come on, Casey. But I know you guys are... I guess we just don't have enough time, enough programming to, programming manpower, woman power, what have you, to write and program all that, so that's too sad. Oh well. And then also they added SSR heroes to the waterfalls. Not sure what the rate's gonna be, but that's still a good idea. So here she is, ladies and gentlemen, the Slaughterer Morrigan. Looking nice. Looking nice. Let's see here. The Slaughterer Morrigan story. Aemon disappeared when his plan failed. Perhaps he had another plan in the works, or perhaps abandoning the Drayden elites was greater. Only he could possibly know, and Morrigan wasn't interested in finding out. She never cared about the ending of the world or saving anyone. Her only regret was that she hadn't killed Aemon at the peak of his beauty. That's right, I forgot she was obsessed with Aemon. If he was really capable of seeing the future, he would have seen his own end, whether it was by her blade or another's. Now 2 men stood before her. Hercus and his companion demanded to know where Aemon had gone. Boy, they're gonna die. And as Morrigan regarded them, a thin smile spread across her lips. Looking back, she'd never borne any true love or true loyalty towards Aemon. He was just interesting. She'd been drawn to him for how obsessed he was with shining a light into the world, to the point that he would rip darkness itself open and warp fate to suit his ends. Morrigan had never felt that strongly about anything before, but now his mess was hers to clean up, even though Morrigan had neither love nor loyalty for Aemon. She still blocked the path, not to protect him, but because Hercus and his companion seemed to stand at the very edge of the incredible precipice. God damn, someone's really on the pronouns. And just one push would send them toppling over. Morrigan had missed her chance with Aemon, but she wouldn't miss it again. She broke the final seal, bloody petal, the seal she'd been saving for Aemon, and let the demon sword overtake her. The rage of 1,000 years flowed through Morrigan. Despite the demon consuming her, she felt more focused and lucid than she ever felt before, and the sight of her shook the 2 men to her core. At that moment, the blade's bloodthirst and Morrigan's desire to see beautiful men impaled upon it synchronized. There was no Aemon, Cowley, or Verdandi to keep her in check anymore. And her last shard of self-control, the one she'd been saving to bring a clean end to Aemon, at his moment of victory shattered, she cast off her chains, surrendered her form and her spirit to the blade. Of it. Renard, I'm not even bothering to read his story. Actually, it's not that long. A male spirit fox, get his photo here. A male spirit fox who lives on a mountain overlooking a small human village far from the Glamour Woods where the rest of his tribe lives. Renard fell in love with a human woman and married her in a secret ceremony, but their union was soon discovered. The disgusted villagers killed Renard's wife for the crime of loving a non-human, and Renard has kept a solitary vigil over the mountain home ever since. Although Renard never fall in love in this game, by the way, you see what happens. is used to living among humans. His spirit fox instincts are as sharp as ever. He can be playful at times, even seductive, but he misses his dead wife every day. He is a very distant cousin of Mina, and not her sibling. An exorcist known as Mahruhan is hunting Renard with the intent to kill him. And this is your Momo costume, Demon Tamer Momo. Get some things in there. And then also, Saya's new look. Little sleepy daughter. Her rarity changes to SSR, etc. So we'll try to get some visuals on her. That off for later. Go over the rest of it here. 15 new costumes for SSR Advent Heroes, so that's pretty cool. 6-star costume, 5-star costume, 4-star costume. I'm sure it just changes based off of what star level you have them. New Advent Dungeon. Oh, never mind. Okay, that's not a new Advent Dungeon. That just must be the new Dungeon of the Week. And there's new exchange items. So they're basically sweeping through and kind of making the items a little bit better. Garnet Exchange Shop. So now there's a Luna ticket selector. There's SSR summon selectors. So pretty good stuff. This game sees that, you know, it's going to have a rough time attracting people with all the newer stuff out. So they're starting to up the rewards here, which are pretty cool. Guild Shop now has heroes until the 2.5 update versus the 2.4 update. And it's time to look at Morrigan. So here's what's changing about her. Her leadership has now increased Fire Allies attack by 40 as it was before, and critical strike damage by 30%. That's pretty strong. See here. We also have... I'm just looking for the changes. So it looks like Bloody Petal, the passive, that's always attack percentages if something's bleeding. It now increases caster attack by 15 versus 10% for 2 turns, so a little bit bonus there. And it looks like her passive is now changed so that... Oh, she always becomes a shadow now. Okay, it's not just Berserker anymore, so she always becomes a shadow. A shadow, for you people that never used Morrigan beyond her first update, or before her first update, excuse me, beyond was correct. Basically, Shadow is a controllable Berserk, where she still gets the buffs of Berserk, so the auto multi and the auto counters, but she also takes less damage, and then they've actually increased that with their costume. We'll get into that later, but this is the base changes to Morrigan. So it doesn't affect the costume. We're getting to the costume next. As far as the changes go, it looks like her chance to inflict bleed has gone up at the tail end 80%, starts at 40% versus 35 and 60%, so now she's a bleed machine. Bloody Petal. Looks like they brought the skill cooldown down to 3 turns a little bit. Her skill number 2, the one where she does a ho 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 ho, and then she gets rid of the buffs. So now it removes, once you get it all the way up, 2 buffs now instead of 1. So that's pretty strong, actually. Morrigan Chronicles are back, baby. And let's see. Costume, leadership's the same. Looks like the percentage attack goes up on her demon sword. Like more so than the regular, so that's pretty good. And so this is the thing that makes it crazy. Morrigan's Madness, which is her 60 talent passive. Now a 80% chance to apply Demon Sword Bloody Petal to caster for 2 turns when attacking. Revive and all that's still there. Now decreases damage taken by 50%. Good lord, that's gonna make her nuts. It was already 25%, but... boy. Let's see here. Carnivorous Sword. And so she still gets the Ebony Wounds, which if you guys remember, Ashley has Ebony Wounds. That's what makes him strongest PvE unit right now. One of the many things. So when caster's under Shadow status, 100% chance to apply 2 to 3 to 5 stacks at the tail end of Ebony Wounds. And deal additional damage of 30% to the attack stacks up to 10 times. So that's really good if you already have Ashley in your party, because these two, every time there is a turn for that unit, the Ebony Wound stack is always going to tick for them, so the bleed damage is always going to tick. So if you have multiple turns, if you have characters that can bring turn percentage up, it just gets pretty stupid, pretty dumb. And it looks like, damn, if you got her costume, her Bloody Petal, which is the spin, like I said earlier, removes 3 buffs now. Pretty nasty. They've also buffed Nemesis here. There's a Cyberpunk Nemesis costume. Interesting. I guess we'll go over it here. I wasn't prepared to go over all this stuff, the other characters, but let's do it. So it looks like Caster's Shield is now 100% of max HP for 1 turn when Dark Orb is acquired. Holy crap. I mean, there's all types of piercing in the game, but still, 100% of max HP versus 20. It was already fairly strong at 20, I thought. That's pretty cool. I remember one of the designers, I don't know if he still works on the project, he said that Nemesis was his favorite character, so he was super sad when Nemesis had a low usage rate early game. But she's still a really strong, really solid character as long as people aren't piercing. Dark Slash, let's see here. Chance to make enemy unable to be revived. It used to just be 1 turn, now it's a max of 3 turns. Pretty good. They definitely need to add more unable to be revived and resolve block in this game. Let's see here. Cooldown of Enchant Glaive. 2 turns. That's her skill 2. So that's when she basically buffs herself, gets orbs. That's pretty strong. Shadow Strike, skill 3, inflicts penetration damage. Also makes enemy unable to be revived. At the top end, it's now 3 turns versus 2 turns. And then here's what Cyberpunk Nemesis looks like. Just a little thumbnail there. She looks pretty hot, actually. Yeah, let's click that. And it just brings up a little window on the side. That's put up for you guys here. Oh well, she looks like she could be pretty cool, pretty cute. Alright, so Reaping Ground, passive skill. The passive skill condition effect has been changed. Gain an EMP shield for when plasma is acquired. EMP shield removes 1 buff from all enemies upon being removed. Interesting. If there are 2 plasma when attacking, consumes all plasma to inflict additional damage of 120% of attack that ignores defense. Wow, it's a passive? Huh? That's pretty crazy. Let's see here. Dark Slash. What's the do different with the costume? They brought the percentages up. On the percentage chance to make unable to be revived. And also brought the turns up to 3. So that's pretty good. Enchant Glaive. That's her 2. Her self buff. Has 100% chance to cast Veil of Phantasm to evade attacks once for 2 turns. And grants the caster Adrenaline for 5 turns. Adrenaline increases attack speed for people who don't know. Oh, I was about to say, is that Saya? I'm like, Saya looks like an idiot. Okay, good. It's Sarah. Sada. I've dated so many Sarahs. Anyways, alright, here we go. When there are 3 or more enemies at the start of the turn, 50% chance to cast the same effect on enemy for 2 turns. Weakness Reveal is the effect. Weakness Reveal basically makes it you insta-crit whenever you hit someone with Weakness Reveal, unless they have some type of absorption or shield or whatever. Block the damage or evade. Define Victory, passive skill. It is now applies Quick Reflex for 70% to the caster for 5 turns upon successful critical strike. I actually do not know what Quick Reflex is. I would assume it's probably increased dodge. Not sure though, but that's new either way. Instead of decreased recovery amount. Double Tongue Fuzz. This is condition existing passive inflicts damage equal to 100% of attack to 1 target and increases critical strike damage. It's now up to 80%. So another 30, 65 to 40, 80. That seems to be what they've settled on. Wave Cutter, passive skill. It now ignores defense. Interesting. 320% single target damage. And decreased turn speed. Interesting. Dynamic Cross. This is skill number 3. The percentages went up. now top out at 90% versus 85. Penetration damage, 480%, 90% chance to disable the target and 2 adjacent enemies for 5 turns. Disable decreases attack speed. Right, and they've buffed Surdik. Now this is a guy that's long needed a buff. I remember, shout out to Croy if you're watching, I doubt he is, but I think Surdik was Croy's first hero, and back when we were still all Knights Chronicle noobs, he was playing Surdik, I was playing Ellie. Like all these people even at the beginning of the game that weren't meta, like at all. But we were having fun, so. And that's another thing, KC, devs, if you're listening, you guys missed a huge opportunity with your multiplayer. I don't know if it's still there now, but if you would have made the multiplayer rewards worth it, that game used to be so much fun to stream multiplayer. Just like pick up dudes in the chat and do some dungeons. That used to be really fun. But now, it really isn't. Well, I mean, it wasn't. When we were noobs. So let's see here. Rosemaster, passive skill. 150% additional damage to targets imprinted with Rose Crest. Rose Quest goes on female enemies for 2 turns at the start of the wave. Bad Boy. 60 level hero talent. Decreased damage by 50% when attacked with an enemy imprinted with Rose Crest. Max 3 stacks. Oh, cool. So his attack percentage goes up to 90%. They added 3 stacks to it. That's pretty good. Rose Temptation. What they buffed with it. 85% chance to charm target rather than apply Rose Quest. Oh, never mind. Rose Quest is still there. They just added the... Oh, wait. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess it's a charm. Never mind. They get rid of the Rose Crest after skill level 5. Oh, never mind. Okay, I was looking at the old thing. So now it is 85% chance to charm the target and 60% chance to apply Rose Crest. Okay. Interesting. Pretty crazy for a skill 1, actually. Shining Rose, skill 2. Pretty much increase the percentages on optical illusion, which causes blind. Essentially. Then Rose Fantasia. They basically just decrease the cooldowns on it. The ulti, I think it does a grip of damage, especially if you're Rose imprinted. Haspiel. I know that the main highlight with Haspiel, I'll just go to it. We all know at the beginning of the round, Haspiel, he starts off with Enhanced Life 500%. Well, now it's 700%, so the dude's just a tanking machine now. And this guy, if you get him built right, he can do damage like Cynthia can. Like his crit damage. It's pretty intense. Lina TV's reset so that they can make more money. GG. At least there's more currency, hopefully. Goddess Fall improvements. They added these two, I guess. Yada, 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 yada. Let's see what the community's saying here. Lina has 57 followers. Interested in this update because Morrigan got her awakening. Everyone's ignoring the fact that Advent costumes look exactly the same as original Advent characters. Oh, really? This game's going down here pretty fast with your lack of imagination of improvement new heroes. Morrigan, similar to Kane, just less dependent on enemy. He might be better than him. She's definitely better than Kane in most cases. Can stop your team from healing, but blocking dots. Only Abel and Lydia can CB them. No cleanse. Rebecca S3, 480, 480 times 3. Then Morrigan, 130 damage multiplier. Starting to get scared on how strong Verdondi's going to be. Yeah, Verdondi probably is going to get an awakening, even though she doesn't need it. Electro is too strong and annoying. Fix it. Oh yeah, so the other thing I forgot in the Morrigan Awakening, I don't know how I missed it actually. Basically, she has a thing to where she becomes immune whenever she's a shadow, and she's a shadow the first 3 rounds of combat now if you got everything awakened. That's her awakening skill. And whenever she's a shadow, I think it's an 80 or 90% chance to become immune to all it's either abnormal or debuffs. It's one or the other. But essentially, you're not going to crowd control her. Unless you dispel it somehow, which I'm not sure if he can even be dispelled, so. Anyhow, that's what it is. Here's what Momo's costume looks like. Fucking check it out. Momo loves doing the in-air splits attack. The cutesy face replies, and here's Saya. Oh, they now have pictures of her? Damn, I wanted to see some. Buff Saya, buff Ellie. I guess they buff Saya. Buff Ellie. Looking at all her stuff here. So she has increased light and wind evasion allies by 20%. Extra damage if target is sleeping. So still kind of the same. But then it's going to mess with her 60. So let's see here. Ghost Girl. Activates 2 times per battle now. Oh, interesting. I wonder if it always did that and I just didn't notice. Oh, it's not a costume that actually changes anything. Or if it is, it doesn't specify. That's too bad. Ah, there's gotta be something that changes. Well, I'm sure someone will point it out for me. Alright guys, so that is enough for now. So if you're still into KC, thinking about KC, you want to check out the new updates, go back to Morrigan Chronicles. I'm sure Verdandi and Esna and Tayo will be banned every week in PvP for a while. And any other counters she might have. And that's it for me, guys. So, labor of love. Have yourselves a good evening. Peace out.